is the crack? What is the fucking crack? Yeah? I'm just disgusted with some of the stuff that's going on in the boxing world. You know, like I said, I do a lot of shout outs in this channel. You know, just trying to help out some of like I say, some of these lesser guys, and just want to give them a wee chance. You know, and I think we all have our influences, and it's early days for me as a YouTuber with my 6 views per video and 7 subscribers. It's hard to know, but you just have to keep going, don't you? Yeah. And like, I put on this T-shirt. You know what I mean? Because this is a boxing channel. Right? Forget all that music bullshit. Forget all that sociological, psychological, fucking self-help bullshit. This is a boxing channel for men and women. Yeah, of all varieties. But you do like you have your guys that you look up to, and you're thinking this guy's pretty good. And I suppose I have to concede this guy's quite good. Yeah, I'll give it to him. He's good. He's quite good. Yeah. But in a way, you can take your wee bits and pieces. You can lift a bit from this one and from that one. But you can't do a straight rip. You know. How could you look yourself down the fucking camera lens if you were completely ripping somebody off? You wouldn't be able to do it. You'd be found out, wouldn't you? So like I say, a couple of little bits, and you don't steal the entire blueprint. Floyd Mayweather said to Conor McGregor, oh, he stole my blueprint. He used my entire blueprint. That was him paying him a compliment, wasn't it? I say he did compliment him after. He says, he stole my entire blueprint, but I'll give it to him. He's smart, you know. So like Mayweather's a wee bit daft, isn't he? Like he's obviously a smart guy, smart businessman and stuff, but just the way he comes across sometimes, he's a bit fucking dumb, like. But he was a good fighter, so you gotta respect him. And then McGregor comes on this scene, this Irishman, like, and he's obviously a very good fighter, MMA, but I think what set McGregor apart, was his personality and how engaging he was and how funny he was and all that stuff. It was like, yeah, so maybe Mayweather had a point, like, he did steal his blueprint in a way, but if it was that fucking easy, everybody would have been stealing Mayweather's blueprint. Many fucking tried it. Even people as, talented as Adrian Broner tried to lift his blueprint. But he fucked it up. He fumbled the bag because he copied the blueprint. He tried to trace it. He didn't study it and go, okay, I see what he's done there. Now let me get to work on my own blueprint. No, he goes, oh, fuck, oh, wait. It didn't end well for him. Like, he didn't really fulfill his potential. I like Adrian Broner, don't get me wrong. And I think he was a good fighter in his day. The problem, long before fucking Jake Paul come along and more or less stole his nickname. He was a great fighter. But you could see that he was, and he was young at the time, so it's somewhat forgivable. But he was very much enamored with Mayweather and Mayweather's style, Mayweather's way of getting on, even down to the way he talked with the little stutters and stuff. Eventually, he found his own niche was more in like just jail and like fucking perversion and stuff like that. Was more as he found his home there, which is good to see. And, I think Mayweather, McGregor, he come on stage like he said, "Fuck a Mayweather's." He said, "Fuck a Mayweather's." Yeah. He was wearing that big fucking mink coat, wasn't he? With the tag still on it. And Mayweather came out with his wee school bag and started throwing out all the fucking money. And McGregor came on the mic and he says, "It's all ones. It's all dollars. It's all ones." And he said, he wore a school bag out here. He can't even read. And the crowd were fucking loving it, boy. You know what I mean? Press conferences around the world, like, that was done on a new level. I don't know about McGregor's boxing skills. I thought he was okay, but see all this, you know, he'd come out with a wee hammer smash move, didn't he, on top of Mayweather's head. He was showing these wee tippy-tappy fucking jabs and stuff. It's like, don't know about that. But he acquitted himself quite well, I thought, yeah. And the respect was there between Mayweather and McGregor, you know. Fucking McGregor, he was kind of complaining. He was going ref. You know, like he was on the fucking football pitch as a 10-year-old or something. Ref. The fight's over, man. You lost. Yeah. You finished. But McGregor isn't finished in a way if you think about it. Or Mayweather, because, you know, his pro career's over. Like, he done what he had to do, and he done it quite well. Yeah, admittedly. But now he's into doing all these little exhibitions, and it's like, it's not quite the same. I don't know, maybe he's just addicted to the spotlight, that limelight. He can't fucking stay away, man. He's got to be on it and staying relevant, you know. I suppose if you got a blueprint that's working for you, you know, you want to fucking... Because what else is he going to do? Like, what else is Mayweather going to do? You think Mayweather's going to go and coach somebody? He's used to being top man. He's the top guy. You think he's going to come in and, you know what I mean? He's got to stay relevant, man, by whatever means necessary. So you have to respect him in a way. Look, and McGregor, what's he doing? He's just sort of more like a social media star now, isn't he? Instagram, and he's got his photographs, and you know he's fucking on the steroids. That's a joke, but he's out there, like, he's doing what he's doing. You know, he's got the women, he's got the family, he's got the yacht. He's got everything, you know, so he's just living that life, you know, and of course he's got his businesses and stuff, you know, with his stout and his whiskey and all the rest of it. Like, he's doing well, man, he's doing well for himself. So you gotta credit him too, and it's just, I don't really see the sense in comparing it to him, you know what I mean? But, no, he's quite good. He's quite good, man. Yeah, watching some football. Just watching some Man United. Shit, man. Football sucks balls. Like, let's be honest here. You know, if you're into boxing, like, you know the crack. Boxing is where it's at. You know, just boxing, tunes. Football is daft, isn't it? It's just silly. It used to be good back in the days, you know, with your Roy Keane and your Stuart Pearces and guys like this. They're real fucking characters, man. And that's just a bit namby-pamby, isn't it? But all of these, you know, diving flat out, and, you know, you're not allowed to hack anybody anymore, you know. But it is what it is. Look at this, I'm just watching some stuff. Look, there's a guy on the floor injured. The guy on the other team's trying to help him up. He's giving a wee rub on his back and all. What's going on, man, you know? It's hard, I don't know. I've been making the effort to try and get back into it, but it's just shit. No offence to any footballers or football fans. Like, I'm going to start going to the Northern Ireland League matches, the Irish League or whatever you call it. Because I get a feeling it's a bit more hardcore, like a bit more fucking hacking, like, and you know what I mean? Fights and stuff like that. But this sort of what you want, isn't it? Like, but, so anyway, like I did say, I was going to talk about Amir, so I have to fucking do that. I suppose I can't just, you know, pretend I'm not on a boxing channel and then fucking come on here and talk about my life and my ideas about Conor McGregor. Let's see here. What's the fucking website, man? What do you call that? Yeah, BoxRec. I found something funny with BoxRec. You know, when I went to it the first couple of times, I was doing a video and I was like, maybe I can go on here and see what's happening. they let me in first time, and it was like, right, you're just looking at the information, just a general guy. I was like, yeah, 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 give me this, that, and the other, please, thank you very much. And then I went back the next day, and suddenly it was, you must log in, you must sign up. I'm like, okay, all right, I see what's happening here. So anyway, Amir Khan. When I first got into boxing, for me, it was Carl Frampton. It was Amir Khan, I think, was maybe the first fighter that I had watched. And for me in those days, I loved the whole show. I wasn't just, tuning to fucking YouTube and watch the fight, or tuning on and watch it. Oh, I'd never watch a live stream like it unless I was paying for it. But I liked all the talk, all the build up, all the shows, and so like I was watching Amir Khan, and he was coming on. He was like, doing his little talk, and his eyes seemed to be full of light, and he seemed to be such an inspirational guy, and that for me was a big attraction to begin with. Before I found out that he was really a bit of a dosser, but you know, it was all of this. I believe in myself, and if you can believe in yourself, you can achieve anything. And I was like, yeah, man, yeah. I was sitting back, probably busted out of my head on alcohol and prescription drugs. Those were darker days, but they're behind us. So let's keep forging ahead. Forge with fucking elemental spirituality, truth, precision, and ruthlessness. So anyway, yeah, he fought a bunch of guys on his way up, right? I think he started out at lightweight. So what's that? 135, where Javante Davis is lulling, avoiding the other fucking kings. Yeah, he needs to get his fucking shit into gear. So anyway, right, he fought a bunch of guys we've never heard of, right? 4 rounders, 3 4 rounders, a couple of 6 rounders. He fought Willie Lemon somewhere along the way there. Irish fighter, if I mind right, yeah, good guy. A few 6 rounders and a 10 rounder, then a couple of 8 rounders. And then he fought, his first 12 rounds was Willie Lemon, and he was retired, and it must have been stopped in his corner or whatever, or the towel was thrown in the 8th round. So, and that was for the Commonwealth title at lightweight. Another few guys, Scott Lawton, Graham Earl, he's retaining this fucking title. Up we go, up we go. It's all 12 rounders here. No more of this 10 round, 8 round fucking stuff. You know what I mean? If you want to be taken seriously as a fighter, you can't be fighting, in the prime of your career, fighting 10 round fights. Why is it? It just doesn't look good. Sure, it doesn't. Put him in a fucking 12 rounder, another 2 rounds. Even if it only goes 10 rounds, it looks a bit fucking unprofessional to be fighting fucking 10 rounders, and you know what I mean? Let's represent ourselves here. Let's represent ourselves. So anyway, he finally gets to, he's still at lightweight now, and he gets to beat his Prescott, which is the notorious fucking fight where he got exposed that early in his career. I think Prescott caught him with one punch, and he was like badly fucking shaken. He went down, he got up again, and he went right in. He didn't stand off him, he didn't try to dance, he didn't tuck his chin away. He went right in. It was like, and of course, probably a fighter being used to having that lightning quick hand speed. Maybe throughout his amateur career, where he had a lot of success, he was a silver medalist, Olympic medalist in the amateurs, which was a great launch pad for him. Like I said, a bit of a poster boy, a bit of a flag bearer for British boxing at that time. Young, good-looking guy, very skilled. Let's get behind him, right? So, and he fucking comes, and he's used to having his way in the exchanges in the amateur system. I talked to Adrian Broder, I think it was him that came out at one point and said, he's like, he still fights like an amateur. Yeah, so he comes in, and of course he gets caught. I think he gets away one punch, and he's lying back in the corner like this, laid the fuck out. That wasn't good. He didn't rematch British Prescott. He came in against Oisin Fagan, another Irish guy. Fagan, fucking hell, man. Had he moved up in weight by this time? No, he stayed at a lightweight. Couple of a couple of stoppages, I think. No, that's that. There's a win in the fifth round. TD. What does that mean? Tile drop. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, he goes to fight. He goes in for his first world title, right? At the weight above super lightweight, 140 pounds, right? Super lightweight, junior welterweight, or light welterweight. It's just a junior sound a bit disparaging or something, or negative. I used to think it did. I think that's probably thinking too hard, isn't it? It is what it is. It's fucking super lightweight as it's listed here. He goes in against this Katalnik guy. Unanimous decision, right? His next fight, he fights some Salida guy. Knocks him out in the first round. Nice one. And then he goes to New York, right? So he crosses the water, which for the sort of the big time British fighters, right, who have got the skills, they've got the personality, and therefore overall marketability. They go to the States. We're gonna take this guy across the water. Let's see if he'll sell over here. Yeah. And of course, all of the build up on the stuff surrounding that. Then, you know what we're talking about here. So, Paulie Malignaggi, as he's listed here, knocks him out in the 11th round. I haven't watched that fight. I'd like to watch it. So, that was his second defense of the title. Paul Malignaggi was a very good fighter. Obviously, he was known for being feather-fisted. Maybe he had a bit more power earlier in his career, but he was constantly hurting his hands, breaking his hands. He had brittle hands, Still very skilled, still good to watch. He was a world champion. So eventually, he fought a lot of good guys. I think he fought Sad Judah, he fought Miguel Cotto, and he had a great personality as well. Obviously, there was the Broner fight. Was a great one for the build up and stuff too. Two big mouths, that worked really well. And Paulie now is sort of respected and known consensus again as the fucking top dude when it comes to boxing commentary, punditry. Apparently he was blackballed a little bit because he was talking too much about race and things like that. And of course, in the modern world, it can be very politically correct, and you have to be careful, especially if you're operating in them spheres, about what you say, because he ended up getting pretty much, elbowed out, and he continues to have a successful career. Pro Box TV, which is a great channel. You have him and Chris Algieri would be the two mainstays. Timothy Bradley comes in and does a bit. There's other guys. Teddy Atlas comes in sometimes, and they talk real talk. Obviously, these guys are quite well respected and they're industry connected as well and stuff. So they don't get too conspiratorial, and get into these alternative theories too deep. They'll tell it how it is, but at the same time they support boxing and they want to see boxing grow. So, next up was Maidana. The Maidana fight was unbelievable. Knockdowns both sides. Can't drop him with a body shot. Really showed that intestinal fortitude. He stayed in the fight. And I think now this is what brought around the likability and the sort of what really endeared people to Camelot was that he was so frail, he was so fragile in a way. He's constantly talked about as having a glass jaw, right? But he got stuck in. He always got stuck in. And even when the odds were against him and he was put down, it looked like he was completely hopeless. But he got back in there, and you were kind of going like this. You were going like, oh Jesus Christ! But at the same time, you were rooting for him, and he has been the subject of much derision and stuff as well. Again, mostly by online boxing trolls, keyboard warriors, people who go under an anonymous name on Twitter, YouTube, wherever else it might be, and drop snidey wee comments. Yeah, which is all right if people want to do that and that's what they're into. Great. I prefer if there's you're gonna be an internet troll, come right out and do it with your face on camera. Yeah, or do it to the person's face and do it with some intelligence and try to explain something what's going on here, and if you can add any value to the thing rather than just coming in with some stupid comment, you know. That's worthless. You got to work on your game. Really, you got to have a second look at things here. Yeah, try and look at some of the guys that are doing it right and go, oh, all right, okay, shit, I got to get my shit together here, right? So next up is Paul McCluskey, another Irish fighter. I think he's from the north. Um, Super lightweight, another defence of the title. What's that? His third or fourth defence. And again, TD. What is TD? Total domination. No, probably not. I shouldn't have said that, shouldn't I? It makes me look a bit silly. And obviously, I am a serious fucking guy. So next up was Zab Judah. He knocks clean knockout, not a technical knockout. He knocks out Zab Judah in the fifth round. So this is the thing too, compared to a skillful, fast hands that Malignaggi had. Obviously, he didn't have the power for whatever reason. That might have been out of his hands a bit. Can had pop. Can had pop. And they say speed kills, but he had a bit of pop on his punches too. He was knocking guys out. He was dropping guys and Can was a good boxer. He had the fast hands and stuff. You could say he was a bit too, amateur style and stuff like that. He had big gaps in his game and he had blind spots and stuff, as we all do. But he was quite a good boxer, Can. He was good. And I think later, we'll get to it very soon here whenever, what's the guy's name that looked after Andre Ward, when he come in then and coached Can, he would be, at any cost, don't do that. As long as you don't do that one thing there, we're fucking golden. You know what I mean? So he needed somebody like that, somebody that he would have to respect as well, that could come in and keep him sweet that way. So anyway, he beat Sabjuda, which has to be one of his best wins. Paul Malignaggi is a great win. The McDowell is a great win. Now he comes up against next, and he's a unified champion by this time. He's got the IBF and the WBA. Against Sabjuda, by the way, the ref was Vic Draculich. I don't know if you've ever seen, but he kind of looks like a vampire. He looks like a funny little name. I think he might actually be from Transylvania as well. I think so. I would have to I might be able to click him here. Let's see now. Where's Draculich? We're gonna find out what the crack is here with Draculich. Let's see. Strange man. Some of these refs are funky guys. No, he's actually from Reno, Nevada. I don't know where I got the Transylvania bit from, but yeah, wishful thinking. So Lamont Peterson then was up next. I think this was the first fight that I had tuned into. And like I say, I was watching the previews, watching the build-ups, like what was the name of the show whenever Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya. They have a name for these shows in the build-up. Every network's got their own sort of version of it. I think the Mayweather De La Hoya one was really the gold standard. It was brilliant, it sort of set a new level for how good these sort of programs could be. But Lamont Peterson, him and his younger brother, whose name I can't remember, are both fighters. I think they were both homeless at one point. They might have been fostered. So this was kind of their story. They had come from really, really humble and hard times. He wasn't being touted that much. I don't know what. Well, let's check it out now that we have all of this at our fingertips. Why not check it out? Get Vic Draculich out of the way. Do I get you out of the way, Vic? And I'll bring in Lamont. So, birthplace Washington. He's from Washington. He also is from Washington. Sugar Ray Leonard's from Washington, wouldn't he? Yeah. I think Washington and around there. I think could be. He had some rough areas, I think. I mean, you're thinking Washington, you're thinking of the fucking White House usually, aren't you? But there's other stuff going on here. So look, let's see. Before he fought Can, where am I now? He, he had drawn against Victor Ortiz. He was a very good fighter. Fought Mayweather. We all know what happened there. He fought Bradley. He lost in a unanimous decision to Bradley. Um, the other guys he fought, I'm sure some of them were quite good. I don't recognise any of their names. And that's right from the bottom, right up until we get to our Bradleys, Victor Ortiz. After Kenny fought Kendall Holt, that name rings a bell. He fought Matisse. He lost to Matisse. Matisse, like I say, was a big deal at that time. He was a scary guy, and he was one of these guys that was sort of under the radar. It was like, this guy's fucking dicey, like, you know, and people really wanted to get behind him, the hardcores, because they were like, this guy's not getting the promotion, but he's such a great fighter. We have to fucking sort this guy out, you know. And he came on to fight Danny Garcia, who we'll talk about very soon. David Avanesian, he fought him. When was that now? That's an interesting one. See, that was in 2017, and he beat David Avanesian. Now, of course, Avanesian was the sort of prospective opponent for. He beat Josh Kelly, I believe. Kelly had been on a good run. He'd looked great. I'd seen him live at the SSC. He had looked great. People were comparing him to Roy Jones. He was throwing 1, 2, 3, 4 hooks in a row, things like this. Very good fighter to watch. And then when I think he fought Avanesian, and it didn't go so good for him. Because it's, you know, pretty boy Josh Kelly. It's one thing looking pretty, but you know, you come up against certain opponents that it's not just about looking cool and all showing off your little moves and stuff. You're on a fight now, you know. Yeah. There's other things you're gonna have to be able to do, you know. So, but there's no harm in him having that loss, you know. Obviously, he's learned a lot from it since. I believe he's fighting on Channel 5 and stuff, and he's sort of building his career back up. Trying to think who he's coached by. I can't think right now. Then Lamont Peterson fought Errol Spence. That's a decent win to have an Errol Spence's record, but not as good as some of the wins that Terence Crawford had in his record. Pound for pound number one for a reason. Alright. Sergey Lipnitz, he lost to him. You know, obviously he's brought in as a decent opponent for the likes of Lipnitz. Maybe that was something of a 50-50 fight. Lipnitz probably more on the up, a better record, a younger guy. And Lipnitz went on to fight Boots Ennis, and Boots Ennis probably one of Boots Ennis' better opponents, at least more known opponents, and it was a nice wee showcase for Boots. Obviously we would want to see Boots Ennis in with better and better opponents. He's in this court thing at the minute, and hopefully that's all going to be resolved. You can get a good contract with the likes of your top ranks, you know, whether even Matchroom have spoke about it. There's something dicey going on there. You know, people don't seem too keen to commit and get in. But I think it will. His talent's too great, and he seems like a good guy. His dad, Bozianis as well. It's like Philadelphia guys as well. It's all there, and hopefully we see the best of him. Otherwise, it'll be, rather than being up on the level of a Roy Jones and having the promotion behind you and stuff, it might be more like a James Toney, where this guy, you know, the hardcores know he's amazingly skilled. He's got the power and stuff, but the backing isn't really there for him. So, I mean, as long as we get to see him in some good fights down the years, of course, ideally, we would love to see him properly promoted and stuff. And he seems like a bit of a shy guy. Doesn't seem like the best talker and stuff, which probably doesn't help his cause, you know. Of course, Bob Arm, I think is nearing his 100th birthday, had come out and, instead of Terence Crawford, he said he's a nightmare to promote. While he was still under contract with him, he says this guy's a nightmare to promote. He doesn't do fuck all. He doesn't talk. I find this very interesting because Bud is very humble and stuff, and I think he's a bit shy himself. With the Spence fight, he came out and he was rapping on the way in and stuff, and he was getting cool. But he looked to be quite a shy guy when the cameras went on. Now, there's some back foot, back stage footage of him meeting Earl Spence backstage at a big fight, and the two of them run into each other. And Earl Spence has been quite quiet and stuff. And Terrence Crawford is acting like a pure gangster boy. He's all up at him, and you look at him going, "This guy's fucking amazing. This guy has great crack." For some reason, he's a bit more reserved when he gets on the cameras. Maybe because he's a family man. Maybe he wants to, set a certain example for his kids. Because that seems to be a big priority with him as well. So maybe that's partially the reason. Maybe he feels, I let my fighting do the talking. That should be enough. I don't have to come out. And maybe he doesn't want to be one of these gimmick fighters because this is a guy who's been in boxing and has watched boxing his whole life. He's maybe seen guys that do go in and try to talk like a fucking WWE star and stuff, which I like. I like that stuff. But maybe he sees them sort of getting mistreated in a way, or they try to push them in certain directions and things like this, and he's like, nah, I don't want no part of that. Anyway, we got to see him against Spence, so it was all good. Let's get back to our Amir. Our Amir. Amir. He's up next to me. So we fought Lamont Peterson. That fight went 12 rounds. He lost it on a split decision. I obviously was rooting for Camp big time. Didn't know a lot about boxing then, but you could see that Peterson sort of had the upper hand. The physical strength that he had and the way that he was pressuring Can close up and in the exchanges. Can looked uncomfortable. He looked a little bit frail and stuff because, like I say, this guy was quite big. Now I think it later come out. It might have been PEDs that come out, PEDs, whatever the fuck they call it, right? Had come out about Lamont Peterson. But also there was this other thing where Can's team came out later, right, with recorded footage of one of the judges. There was some guy that was going over and kept talking to the judges throughout the fight, and so they wanted the scorecards examined. Now, I don't know if they got it overturned. They mustn't have done because it's still recorded as a loss here for Amir Khan. But I think it lent more credence to the fact that Khan maybe should have won that fight, and therefore when he's going into his next fight, it was still like, oh well, he didn't exactly lose that last one, sort of. So up against Danny Garcia next, and this was a fucking disaster for Khan. Garcia, his dad, Angel Garcia, I believe, was his father, and he was a funny bastard. He was like slagging Khan out the fuck, and he was getting dicey, like he was getting racial and stuff. He was talking about Khan coming from Pakistan and stuff, and he was like, have you ever heard of a good fighter coming out of there? Like it down and stuff, and the fucking people with the microphones were like, oh Jesus, cool it man, cool it. But Garcia caught him with his trademark, beautifully timed, overhand right hook, and it didn't land on Khan's chin, it didn't land at the top of his head or his temple, it landed on his fucking neck. And it must have like just like stuck a nerve or something, because Khan just went and started galloping around the ring like this here, and he was trying to escape and he was trying to come in then, and his feet were just fucking all over the place. It was horrific. Like, I think Khan might have went down, and eventually he got back up and the referee waved it off because he was in no fucking state, and they were giving him every chance. You know what I mean? Like I say, Cal had a lot of backing, probably quite a bit of money behind him and stuff like that. But, it was plain as day, like he had lost the fight. So anyway, I think it was at this point he fought Carlos Molina next, right? Who retired in the 10th round. And he got a unanimous decision against Julio Diaz. These guys are slightly lower level fighters, but still credible opponents. Next up was Luis Collazo. Now Collazo was a bit more credible. He beat him, he beat Devin Alexander, he beat Chris Algier. And those were 3 good wins. Those were 3 good wins for Khan, and like I say, he was fighting well under the guidance of you know what, we're going to get this. We are going to get this. Um, Andre Ward's coach. Right, what's his name? Oh, you're gonna get it, man. I always find it funny. He never gets into the ring to give direction to the fighter. He sits at like the turnbuckle. He comes in. He just pokes his head in or over the top of the rope, and he starts shouting at him. And it's like, I can't hear you. I need your help. He's like, you'll be all right. So let's see. What's this dude's name now? It's gonna come up. Oh, where is it? Where are you? Come on here. Virgil Hunter. So Virgil Hunter, I've heard him come under a bit of stick with people saying, oh, he's not that good a trainer. He was just lucky that he had Andre Ward. Doesn't quite work that way, does it? Like, you know, you have to give him credit for what he'd done with Andre Ward. And I think he'd done a good job with Khan as well. And I think he's got one of these British fighters, Buatsi maybe is with him at the minute. Hopefully he can do something with Buatsi, you know, whatever. I remember watching Buatsi in the Olympics, and I looked at him and I go to myself, he's going to be a world champion, because I thought to myself, I knew what I was talking about, you know. I see the way he was moving. I go, this guy's got something. Now, as it come along, I felt so gratified when he was signed up by Matchroom and all. And of course, he went to Sky Sports. He didn't seem to be fulfilling the potential that we thought he had. What I noticed is his upper body's very stiff. He's good legs. He punches hard. You know, he's very aggressive and stuff. But his upper body is like this. It's stiff. He doesn't roll, wave, you know, or any of that. He's stiff. He's like out there. You know, he's a big stiff dosser. So you can't be at that, man. You gotta fucking, you know, anybody can see that. Whoever's coaching him, promoting him, around him needs to go, look, come here, you need to learn this. This is what you need to do, man. Come on, maybe we can find a way around this. You'd have thought so anyway. So anyway, look, those few wins, like I say, Virgil Hunter, what the fuck you call him? Virgil Hill was a fighter, fought Tommy Hearns, I believe, in 1988, probably 1991. Who cares? We're not playing that game today. He fights Canelo next. Now, what I found to be interesting was at that time there was the big rivalry between Khan and Brook. They had appeared on Sky Sports ringside, and Khan, you know, I think Brook was maybe world champion at that time, and Khan, or was soon to become, he was soon to fight Sean Porter when he went over and ripped the title away from him in a great win. And they were both on this program anyway. I think it was Adam Smith and Johnny Nelson maybe. And he was fucking saying, he was going, right, what was it he says? Khan was just like, I was schooling. He really had the upper hand, like as far as the chat went with Brook. He said, I used to school Kell. He says, I used to school Kell, you know what I mean, in the sparring, in the amateurs. I used to school him, and you could see like Brook was getting a bit upset. Khan obviously had, there was some kind of dynamic going on between the two of them, where Khan was the senior. Khan had got all of the support, all of the praise. He had got the backing, you know, and maybe Kell felt a bit annoyed by that he was probably the better fighter in a lot of ways, but he didn't quite get the same sort of advertising and media support that what Khan had got, right? So if I'm thinking right about it, Gennady Golovkin at that time was so feared. He was the top fucking guy, right? Middleweight, people were comparing him to Heidler and such, yeah. But the big thing was he couldn't get a good opponent. He was so avoided. He fought a lot of good guys. Lemieux, that guy that I can't even remember their names. I think he beat Mac Macklin. Why do I keep saying that? Matt Macklin. I think I'm thinking that Mac the Knife thing. So look, hang on now, hang on. We're gonna sort this out. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this right. Nobody wanted to fight Triple G. The talks were on with this Can Brook fight. It didn't fucking come together, and Brook was so frustrated. Now, we're gonna get this right. Can fought Alvarez in May of 2016, right? Let's get this special one up here. And we're going to find out who went in first, because I believe it was Brook that went to fight Triple G first. He was sort of saying, right, I'm not getting this fight. He says, I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to jump up a couple of weights. Now, he was known for having had weight troubles at welterweight, so, but still, to jump to middleweight against the most dangerous fucking fighter there is. So here we are, special guy, Kell. Let's see, when did you fight Golovkin? You madman. Golovkin, 2016, that was in September of 2016. Yeah, so I think what it was rather after the talks broke down, Cam went and fought Canelo at middleweight, and you know, obviously the thing was at that time is Canelo going to fight Golovkin? So Cam goes and fights Canelo and gets sparked out. He gets cleaned out. Made a good show in the first few rounds, or the first 5 rounds. They said, a lot of people argued that he was winning them. He probably wasn't. He was just catching them in wee patty shots and stuff. Maybe having a little bit of success, but eventually he got cleaned out. And that was the big payday as well. And Cam likes money, don't we all? So he goes in and he gets this big payday. And I think Kell then, when that had been announced, Kell then announced that he was going to go fight Triple G. And he was like, I'm going to go one better than you. I'm going to fight the real fucking boogeyman. Yeah, and Kell actually fucking put on a real good showing against him before he got his eye socket smashed up. Which again is testament to the power of Golovkin. Brook came in. Oh Jesus, this is getting long, man. I thought this was going to be a 5-minute video. We're getting on 42 minutes here. We're going to make it though. We're going to make it, right? So the first few rounds, Brook was catching him with straight shots, straight right hands. He was catching him with counter shots. He was stepping out of the way, giving him angles and coming around and catching him with the right hand like that. He had Golovkin kind of nonplussed for a while, because obviously Kell had the movement. The game plan was great. It was working for him, but I mean 4 rounds in or something, then it was sort of like, oh Jesus, no, this isn't good. He's getting on top of him, and Kell probably could have stayed in the fight. I don't know if he'd have made it to the final round, but because of the pressure that he was under. But he would have went blind if he hadn't retired whenever he did then. So, of course he went on and fought Kell Brook later. He smashed up the other Kell Brook, Earl Spence. He smashed up the other eye socket. Credit to Earl Spence coming to Britain to fight, for the world title and stuff. And I thought Kell fought great in that fight. And I have noticed, and amongst the Americans and stuff, Kell Brook is very well respected as the guy that fought everybody. He fought Terence Crawford, he fought Golovkin, he fought, and he might have lost in a lot of these fights, but he was the guy that went in and fought these guys and gave them a good challenge. And of course the fight against Sean Porter, which was a great win. So yeah, credit to Kell, man. And of course then he finally got that revenge on Cam when they got together towards Cam's last fight, Kell's last fight thus far. There has been some talk of him maybe coming back. Mightn't just be the best idea, unless he really wants the payday, or there was some talk of him having left boxing and he find it hard to deal with. Obviously there's been a couple of little things that had happened, a bit of controversy and stuff like that. But it just goes to show how hard it must be for these guys that are fighting. They're in the limelight. It's all they've ever known, and suddenly that goes away. You must be left questioning yourself or your identity and stuff like that. It must be quite difficult for these guys. Anyway, look, after Canelo, Cam fought Phil Greco. He wasn't all that good. Let's be honest. I think Cam threw a glass of water in his face at the press conference. That was about the best thing about that. Samuel Vargas. It seems like he was a decent guy. Unanimous decision. In some of these wins now against these sort of B plus level fighters, Cam didn't look altogether convincing, and that was kind of part of it with Cam. I would like, even when he got to win, there were always points where I was like, Jesus, this isn't looking good for him here, you know. He was in against Terence Crawford. A lot of people say he quit in the sixth round. He's called a low blow. Didn't look to hit him directly on the groin guard. It was more at his leg, but maybe he wanted an easy out, whatever it was, because chances are Terence Crawford is going to fuck you up, but he's not known to be a quitter, Cam. So, I mean, we'll just leave that. He fought Billy Dib. This was in Jeddah, how's that? Dubai or something like that? Somewhere over there. So, you know what, we're going to find out. Let's educate ourselves, folks, eh? Let's just be respectful citizens and educate ourselves. Where is Jeddah? Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, okay, yeah. See, now we know. Isn't that better? And then finally, 2002, February 2002, he fought Kell Brook. Kell knocked him out in the sixth round. So that was good to see. And well, just before we wrap up here, we'll have a quick look at who Kell fought. Radchenko, Zarafa, Mark Deluca, there was a few of these guys that weren't tops. But I think it was, and I'll tell you who it was who spoke about him this way. It was Stephen Edwards, I think you call him the bread man. He used to do I believe it's been discontinued, but he used to do the mailbag on the Boxing Scene website. Hopefully that mailbag will continue on another website, because anybody that reads it or knows of him as a coach and stuff, he's a top guy. So it was him, and he's quite well respected. Your Timothy Bradleys and Andre Wars and stuff are, know this guy's on the level, like, so. I think he was saying, and normally anything that he says, you can sort of see it as wherever he comes from, those guys kind of believe this, that Kell, they respect him a lot as well, because he fought those top guys, and yeah, I think they respect Kell's skills too. Like, if you for like I say, a guy coming from England, and he comes from the Ingo sort of setup in that dynasty, if you like, I think they like that. But the fact that, say somebody like Karen comes over and like I say, Karen's a good boxer, like, and his personality and the way his intangibles are make it more interesting too. But I think with Kell, on a skill, he's very comparable with the very good fighters, very good American fighters, and I think that's why the guys from there are like that in terms of his jab, his timing, his mix up of shots, shot selection, and I think they just like him. I don't know. How the fuck am I supposed to know? I'm just a wee fucking twerp. Woo. Looking at BoxRec, talking some nonsense. What a strange mullet type hairband thing going on. Know what I mean, man? Just a big fan. Look at that wee flag, isn't that good there for liberty? Yeah, some people say that's like virtue signal. You put that up there so people think you're a good person. Yeah, he's probably a fucking neo-Nazi in his spare time. That is not the truth. That is not the truth, man. Well, like I say, hell of a fighter. Amir Khan's a hell of a fighter too, so it's all good, isn't it? Right, take it easy.